So much of the relationships that we've seen modeled for us as we grew up were conditional relationships. Loved because we did something for someone, or loved because of the ways in which we'd proved ourselves. And honestly, as a result of that, oftentimes our relationships are transactional. But when we know we're loved this extravagantly, we're able to love people, even those that we thought we couldn't, even those who may have done us harm at one point, because the love that God has for them is now in us. Because we've experienced just what extravagant, unconditional love looks like, we're actually able to give it away in the relationships around us. This doesn't excuse hurts and wrongs, but what it says is I'm not going to allow the brokenness to define how I treat you, but rather I'm going to love you the way that I have been loved by Jesus. When that kind of love enters in, it changes the entire story. I think specifically of another story that was told to me by our partners in India. This year we're partnering with Mission India to bring a little bit of God's hope, peace, joy, and yes, love to that part of the world. And this is the story of a little girl named Monica, and how the love of God not only changed her life, but changed the lives of her family. Listen to this.
My name is Monica. I'm 10 years old. I live here in South India with my mom and my dad. This is my little sister, Sinchana. These days we have plenty to laugh and smile about. But not long ago, things were very different. Not long ago, I hated my life. This is the story of how Jesus rescued my family. My dad was a drunkard. If he earned 30 rupees for a day of work, he would spend 20 rupees on alcohol before he came home. He didn't take care of us. Some days, we couldn't even get one good meal to eat.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಫುಟ್ಬಾತಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮನಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಫುಟ್ಬಾತಲ್ಲೇ ಅವ್ರಿವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಅನ್ನ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿನ್ನೋದು, ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
At night, he would argue and fight with my mom. He would yell at her and hit her. My father was always fighting with my mom, with the police, with the loan sharks whose money he had taken and couldn't repay. My mom couldn't handle it anymore. She was so scared and so sad that she tried to end her own life.
ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ನರ್ಕ ಅನ್ಭವಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ನರ್ಕ ಅನ್ಭವಿಸಿದ್ದು ಯಾರು ನರ್ಕ ಅನ್ಭವಿಸ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದೊಂದೇ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಯಾರ ಜೀವಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡಿಬಾರ್ದು.
Life could not get any worse. I didn't know it then. But God had a plan to rescue my family. And it would start with me. That plan was set in motion the day that Indra came to my house. Indra lived down the street from us and was going to start a children's Bible club in our neighborhood.
ಇಂದ್ರ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ಲು ಬೈಬಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ದಂಗೆ ನಾನು ಕಳಿಸ್ದೆ.
There were stories and games and singing, and we got help with our schoolwork. Miss Indra was so kind and loving to us. She told us about Jesus and how we could pray to him for any problems we were facing in our life. So I asked Jesus to change my dad's heart. Every day the kids in the club prayed with me for my dad. And every night after my dad fell asleep, I sat beside him and prayed. My mom and sister started to pray too.
ಅಮ್ಮ ನೀನು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ನನಗೂ ಕೂರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ದೆ. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ವು.
Praying to Jesus just felt right to us. We started going to the church. My dad didn't approve, so we had to go secretly. One Sunday morning, after we left for church, my dad followed us. He thought if we came into the church yelling and beat us in front of everyone, we would be too ashamed to ever return. But as he stood in the doorway of the church, something happened. He didn't move. He just stood there and listened.
ಆವಾಗ ಜೀಸಸ್ಸು ಹೋದೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನನಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಜೀಸಸ್ ನನಗೆ ತಪ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರೋದು ಕೋಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು. ನಾನು ಸಾಧು ಮನಸ್ಸಾದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಧು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಗು ಕಣಗಾದೆ.
Afterward, he told the pastor why he had come. And then he asked the pastor to pray with him. Somehow, right there in that moment, Jesus answered my prayer and changed my dad's heart. The drinking stopped, the beating stopped, and soon after, he started a business and began to settle his debts.
ತುಂಬ ಕೋಪದಿಂದ ಇದ್ದರು. ಈಗ ಕೋಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವಾಗ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಥರ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿಯಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
We started going to church together every Sunday. All of us got baptized. My dad was first. We read the Bible as a family and pray together. At night, instead of fighting and yelling, Dad helps Mom with dinner and helps Sinchana and me with our homework.
ಖುಷಿ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಮೋನಿಕಾ. ಅವಳಿಂದನೇ ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ, ಅವಳ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಅವಳ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಬಲ ಹೊಂದಿರೋದು. ಅವಳಿಂದನೇ ಇಷ್ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ಯೇಸು ಸ್ವಾಮಿನೇ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಆರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಬಡವಾದ ಕುಟುಂಬ ಇಡೀ ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿರೋದು ಕರ್ತರ ಒಬ್ಬರೇ, ಯೇಸು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಜೀಸಸ್.
Jesus made my dad a new man and brought love into our family.
What is it that allows a little girl to love her father in that way? What is it that gives her the courage to step in and pray at his bedside after so many nights filled with shouting and pain? It's the love of Jesus that not only transformed her life, but her mother's life and then her father's. That's Jesus' love. That's what his love does. Monica was able to bring his love into her broken family, and it changed everything. That's the difference that love makes. That's what love is. That's what love does. And that's what we are called to give away this Christmas.